The end of a beautiful beginning, I want to call it, because this is going to be a very special project, very dear to me. So I hope you enjoy this video. This is going to be a very emotional video for me, and I hope in the process you learn something, because this is what happened before.
This is my boy Sam. We call him Sam. And when you see this video, he will be no longer with us.
Yeah, mega dramatic, I know, but there's only one way forward, and that is just to move on, which is what we are going to try and do with this case, because I want to make something beautiful for my little body. And for that, I will need this hunk of plastic, and we will need the Carvera Air from Makera, because I want to make the last resting place of Sam, which was my beautiful dog. Before I'm going to delve in the more expensive materials, we are going to test run it on this, because the brass that I have probably 10 times the price of this little plastic rounded, whatever it is. I actually don't know. So, plan today is to make a nice little container, and we are going to start with preparing the Makera. Of course, this doesn't fit, so we are going to start with the other part of the design, which is going to be the lid. Okay, so this piece is done. Let's look what we are working with. And so this has been done with a 0.3 millimeter end mill. So the pointy one right over there. I believe I'm going to try and redo it with the 0.1 millimeter one. What I'm going to do is grab a new end mill real quick, the engraving one. We're going to drop it from 0.3 to 0.1 to get some more definition in these grooves. All right, final milling is done, and it is looking a lot better. All right, we are in the farm, and at this time we have done some calibrations on this printer, mainly machine calibration, not really filament, because for the work that we are going to do after this print, it is absolutely not mission critical. So I'm going to start the print on this machine, and then when this is done, we will go back to the CNC and do the milling of the face and the bottom side, because we need to add some more features on that. All right, the print is done. Let's have a quick look on how this Voron actually performed without any of the filament tuning. And first look, this is looking very nice. Let's see how easy it is to remove the supports right over here. We got some marks from the chisel, but for this is just a clamping device, so I'm not really that worried. We definitely need some more clearance between the supports and this model. This was 0.24, and it seems to be a little bit too close still. Now this is supposed to be a two-sided clamp, so let's see if my tolerances are correct. Well, it's gonna slide, but it is very tight. Now it's time to install the vise, our clamping system, and then put this in so we can do some more milling. So this is a massive beefy chunk of brass, and we now need to cut it in a few pieces because I actually lost 2 dogs. But maybe let's start with one and account for some failed millings, but now having used Makera CAM software again, I'm quite confident that I'm going to be able to do something with this. But first, let's look how the top came out. It is actually missing a few pieces. So it looks like I need to do some fine tweaking on the amount of material it can cut away. But now we know that, we can continue with the effort. And this is what it's looking like. So we got our O-ring gaps right over here. We have our knurling, big empty void. And now it's actually time to make something that means something. Now cutting this without machinery is going to be very interesting because I don't have the machinery for it. But apparently with some YouTube magic, I should be able to... At least I got one of them. And not this idiot. Like, who the fuck glues his fingers together 2 separate pairs? How idiot are you? Like... Alright, fast forward a few days, everything that needs to be milled out of the rotating position has been completed. I have all the parts right over here and I have the last one remaining inside the machine. So right now we are going to do a new setup, which is going to be again with the clamping and with the 3D printed blocks that I have made. This is going to be extremely interesting because I found out that the 6mm bit I used first was an older one I used on the project from the Rhetoric toolhead, and that one was not really milling, but it was more grinding the brass blocks. I picked a new one, and right now this machine is completely filled with needles, and I already have a few stuck in my hands. So I think you machinists out there are going to be very proud of the work I am doing right now. Let me show you up close. A bunch of long ass needles. So these ones right over here, these are going to be extremely sharp. And we have a bunch of pins and needles all over the place right here in the back. So let me vacuum all this crap up and move this stuff out of the way. All right, time to get the last part done. And this is going to be the dangerous part because we need to remove this complete top. That was way too aggressive, apparently. God damn it. So, way too aggressive. Got it. All right, this is going to be our second try. And for some reason, we are going way too deep. Oh my God. So, this is going to be attempt number 3. Yeah, so the depth is perfect, but still too much feed, I'm afraid. Gentlemen, I got some good and bad news. The bad news is I suck at CNC, or I should say Macara's software absolutely blows because it's all manual and I don't know what to do. Now the good news is the length of your tool does matter, but not in the way you think. Because apparently bigger and longer doesn't always mean better. So gentlemen, there you see we have nothing to worry. I'm going to revert back to my smaller 6mm bit and we are going to do a double pass because there's not enough length in this flute to do a full depth cut. That's not a problem. That is just me now realizing that this has too much deflection. It is not going to work or it will be dog slow. So I'm going to fix it by switching out bits, doing my multi-pass contouring so we don't have to mill away too much of this material. And then we will see if the switch out from longer to shorter is going to help me out in the long run. All right, here we go again. Well, unfortunately, all my attempts so far failed. And also because these blocks that I made before, the ones that were blue, were from PLA. It got too hot, I should have known. Why do I keep trying with PLA? It's just the worst type of material you can buy for a 3D printer. So, switched it out for Siraya Tech ABS with a glass-filled fiber in this. And this should be nice and stiff. Clamping on our brass blocks. Also another thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just get rid of the 6mm ones and then go just with the 1/8 inch bits, and that should be working just fine. The problem was we were starting to melt the inside of the PLA part. There was too much play going on because this was getting hot, and actually let me show you up close. So here you can see a big height difference. And that was because the part started to tilt in the plastic part. So, time to try out our new filament and our new setup. This must be one of the most extreme milling jobs I have done, and the results are nice. Now, what we can see, we have a whole bunch of that needle going on. So let me vacuum it up and let's see if the top can mate with the bottom. I did add a little bit of clearance in CAM software or CAD software, so that should not be an issue. But is it? Let's find out. All right, now the most important part. Is the top fitting the bottom? And yes, it does. We are so close. One more to go, and then we have 2 of these that also need to be milled out. Purely out of interest, I want to know, what is going to be the difference between a milled out one and the solid one? Let's figure that out. So the solid one weighs in at 813 grams and the hollowed one 200. So that is 4 times less than this chunker. And this concludes everything we had to mill. Let's open up the mold, and there we go. This is going to be our last part that needed to be milled out. Now, this is also something Makera, CAM software, bullshit. Not sure why if you set a wall offset, it starts to do the same in the middle. I'm not sure, but that is an easy fix. It's just breaking this away, and then we can continue to do the things that we need to do. So the only thing I need to do is sand and polish these like a mirror, and then we need to do some 3D printing to make this nice and sealable, and also make a little, I want to call it a wrapper around it to stylize a little bit. So you will see it's time to clean these up, start the printer, and finish this project up. We are finally done with all the CNC milling. Now it's time for my second favorite part of this video. That is going to be 3D printing. And today we are going to do that with Polylite PLA with a carbon fiber in it. That is going to give me the contrasting look with the gold. And now we also have the carbon black. I think it is going to look pretty nice. All right, time to pick one of these 4 and start the printing. Now, to be honest, only the bottom 2 are hooked up. I still need to do all the rest, and I don't have the time for it. But nonetheless, I got 2 printers working, and why don't we take this one and put it into good use. I also started polishing these jars, and they came out actually pretty nice. So this is the one from Sam. This has been polished up to an 800 grit wet sandpaper. And then we have our other friend Toby, and he has those, yeah, let's call them special features. And actually it looks kind of cool. These little dots, they were not meant to be there, but it gives it a nice Louis Vuitton kind of a vibe. So one of the features is going to be that we have some grooves for sealing rings. And for that, I'm going to try and use some TPU. And these are the rings that should seal it. Print quality, not that great, didn't tune it like usual, but a little bit of a rotary action with the Dremel cleans them up just nice. And right over here, I have already one of these that has 4 of those little TPU rings on them, and that seals it off quite nicely. It's a little bit of a finagle to get it on because the tolerances are quite tight, but once you get it's mostly that second ring in there, but eventually it slides all together into one nice and sealed container, and when I turn it around it kind of stays closed, which was what I was looking for. All right, need to do 4 more, and then we need to look at our last print. That is going to be the finishing touch of this project. I printed the wrong one. This was made for the original one, and you can see it is no longer going to fit. Well, it is going to fit, but we are shrinking down by half. And the reason was because it wouldn't fit in the CNC otherwise. So printed the original one instead of the one we actually needed. But the print farm is running, and it is actually super cool to see 2 printers, each printing its own material, PLA on the left and ABS on the right. So let's take a quick look while we wait for the new parts to arrive. And this is it. We are running a PLA print with the carbon fiber on the left, and on the right the ABS part just started. And this is going to be a little bit of a difference between true ABS with the carbon fiber in it and then PLA with the carbon fiber, but it seems to be more like a milled one, a very fine milled one, because the surface finish on the PLA print was very smooth actually. So we are going to do a little test between fuzzy skin and proper carbon fiber chopped filament. Also very nice to know is we are running these 2 on the proper UPS right here in the middle. We are pulling around an average of 400 watts for 2 printers. This is an ABS one running at 110 degrees Celsius. And right over here we have a PLA one, 60 degree, 235 on the nozzle. And here we are running 270 on the nozzle. And that gives us an average about 430, 400 watts on 2 units, which is actually not a lot, but of course if you're going to scale it up, the 2 on top will also start running. And we have our rhetoric, which is also a very hot bastard, and we are looking at a 2 to 3 kilowatts depending on what material printing on sustained load on this shop, which at the end of the day is going to start looking like a 40 kilowatts day. 40 kilowatts at 23 cents, that is going to give you €9.20 for every day we are fully equipping the farm, which is going to cost me on a regular working month €200 in just raw electricity just for these units. That is not with the drying, that is not with the light, that is not without the insurance, that is not without all the other bullshit. So just running this farm. Now, this was a little side tangent because I am waiting, but once these are done, we will get right back, test fit them and see if they fit, and then we do the final polish and finish this project up. But for now, I'm super stoked. We got an actual print running right now. So here are the new prints. We can see we are missing some filament on top. We ran out of one of the filaments. That is not going to be an issue. What I want to show you is the difference between fuzzy skin and actual filament that has some carbon in it. So this is definitely looking more what I suspect to be from filament with a carbon fiber in it. So we have a little bit of a rough texture right over here. Bottom is fine, and this side has that carbon finish. So this is a great print. And then we have this one. This definitely also looks like a carbon fiber one. Inside is looking fine. And this is also looking fine. But which of these two is going to be the fuzzy skin and which of these two is going to be ABS with the carbon fiber? If you think that this is going to be the ABS with the carbon fiber, you are wrong. So this is the same PLA as this one. So this is super smooth. We don't see a real carbon finish on it. The only difference is going to be that we applied a fuzzy skin to it. So we kind of fixed the dull finish of the regular PLA with a carbon fiber in it, and now we get that nice carbon finish. Then the carbon fiber part itself does feel a little bit more rough than the fuzzy skin, which makes sense. This is very coarse carbon fiber they are using. This is actually ABS with glass filled fiber in it, not carbon fiber. This is from Siraya Tech, but it is generally the same finish that you get with a carbon fiber in it. So nice finish with the carbon, and when we see them side by side, we can definitely see we can fake it all the way with this very fine chopped PLA carbon fiber. We have done a bunch of testing. Now let's see how this is going to look with a finished part in it. And oh my god, I freaking love it. So on top we have our dog Toby, with the date he passed away, so that was in 2024. And at the bottom you still have a little feature that you can see what you have done right over there. But this is so freaking nice. I am so stoked. This is absolutely beautiful. And here we have it. This is going to be the part that we are almost finished, but it is not perfect for me. So we are going to do a few more things, but we can see we started off with a solid brass piece. We also done our first print. That was the old one. Then we did a little test with carbon fiber or filament with a little bit of a fuzzy skin on it, and the fuzzy skin won over that. And right now we have something that is very close to my liking, and we can see my two boys right over here are nicely engraved and all of that. And that is the last part that is going to be finishing up this part, because there is only one thing left to do, and that is going to be cleaning these up and giving them a final polish before we move our boys into their final home. All right, here we go. This is going to be the last time I will be cleaning them out of the solution in the ultrasonic cleaner. The only thing is, what a shiny piece of gold. And that was really what I was looking for. I wanted to feel like they were encased in gold, and this stock really does what I wanted to do. Is it perfect? No, I can still see the streaks from sanding and all of that, but those are going to be the limitations if you don't have the proper tools for it. And why do I say that? You have seen me doing it all manually, because the rotary polishing that I was doing was just destroying the pad like it was nothing. So we ditched it and we went to manual polishing. And now, in order to try and keep this as beautiful as possible, we are going to try and apply a coating, which is going to be the same we do on a car. This is a spray wax, and that should put a film on top and hopefully stop it from corroding and all of that nonsense. This is one of them. Also, the jars are looking amazing. Same thing, they are not perfectly polished. Well, again, this is going to be my limitation for today. Now, I am already extremely happy to see how gold this brass is looking. There we go, the final piece of the puzzle. These are now beautifully polished and waxed, or at least as good I have the time for. Now it's time to grab our two brothers. So this is the end. We have arrived at the final part, which is going to be moving our boys into their new homes, which is going to be these stops right over here. The wife is also in the shop watching the final, how do we call it? Travel. So for the people that have never seen it, there is nothing special. Actually, it looks like a fine grind. If you want to see it, here we go. So the reason why this is almost empty is because we have our Toby. We already moved him to his final place, or somewhat final place. He was supposed to go on a vacation with us, which didn't happen, so we took him with us and we spread him out at the most beautiful place that we could find at that time. But our boy Sam is still fully and completely with us, and the next vacation that we're going to do, he will get the same fate. All right, time to fill them. Truly and well in the container. Now it's time to close it up for the last time. There you go. So this is it. It was a very long video to make. You wouldn't tell it by the costume changes, but yeah, this took around 2 to 3 weeks to build. And I'm so happy I did it because there truly is beauty in sadness. So, and here we are. This is going to be the final part of the video. This was also the part we started the video with the last time you have seen Sam. Like always, this has been amazing to do with all of you guys. I would never have thought to video something like this. The most vulnerable part in our lives, because the wife is also here with me, and it has been an honor to do so. So like always, thank you very much for watching the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. If it isn't for this little rascal that is always turning into a T-Rex. Ow, he's biting me. Honey, I don't want this dog. He pees and he bites me, you little asshole. Now, here is also something that maybe is good to hear, is that these days we are flooded with all sorts of bullshit, and it is really amazing on having a small space like mine. Well, some call it not so small, but kind of small space to do stuff like this. For instance, we have taken this brass, we have turned it into something beautiful, and we also took filament, which is in this case ABS with a glass fiber. We turned it into jigs so we can hold our work pieces in the vise. We also have 3D printed our first design that after that has been iterated to look like this. So this has been absolutely and truly amazing to do so, and I hope this video has been inspiring to you guys to maybe do something yourself the next time you lose your loved ones. All right, now we are gone for real. This was Noizie. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next one.
Je bent onbeleefd. Je bent een terrorist. Ah.